Ash Ketchum's journey came to an end with him having defeated Leon in the World Coronation Series and then traveling around the world with his two original friends, Misty and Brock. Sure, him beating Leon was one of the most defining moments in the anime ever, but a lot would argue that the aim to be a Pokemon Master series that aired afterwards was a little bit of a letdown. What was initially thought of as a series where he would go in and tie all of the loose ends couldn't have been further from that. We got an episode with Cylin, Ash visiting to Misty after becoming the world champion, getting Wilmer unstuck, okay, maybe that one's not relevant, and reuniting with Pidgeot. Point is, we just got a heavy, fillery, and episodic 11-episode series to cap off our protagonist of over 25 years. What if instead we could give Ash Ketchum the true ending that he deserves? Advanced shipping is marked as the shipping between the two main characters of the Advanced Generation anime, Ash and May. It's not the most popular ship in the fandom, that would be the SS Anne, but I asked you guys to vote on which topic I should cover next, and this is what you guys decided to go with. Last time we discussed the more shipping and the best moments between Ash and Serena, so you should take a look at that video after this one. Advanced shipping in Japanese is Satoharu, which is in reference to Ash's Japanese name Satoshi and May's Japanese name Haruka. What makes the ship special is that May was the first female traveling companion after Misty, and the first one to have a major goal that was often touched upon. With that being said, let's take a look at 10 episodes that best showcase Ash and May's bond together. Any ship can't sail without a beginning, so that's why the first episode of the Advanced Generation series should get a nod. This episode starts with May's internal dialogue as she's on her way to get her first Pokemon from her father's friend Professor Birch. It's important because we just learned about him from Best Boy Harrison, and now we have our female protagonist also going towards Ash's destination. Throughout the episode we get the first meeting between Ash and May, and it mirrored that of his first meeting with Misty where he gets May's bicycle and it gets totally ruined. However, unlike Misty, May was quickly over the bicycle once she saw how much Ash cared for his Pikachu. While she was riding her bicycle over to Birch's lab, she was thinking about how she didn't really care about getting Pokemon as much as she cared about being able to travel, and as the series went on, you know that Ash went on to change her mind. For the next episode, I think I should have a special guest, but how about they go ahead and introduce themselves?
Yo, it's your boy Raph. Oh wait, that's the wrong intro. Hey, what's going on guys, my name's Raph, and huge thanks to the bro LUAPER for having me join him on this video today. The Advanced Generation series was the show that I woke up to early every Saturday morning, and it played a big part in making me a Pokemon fan that I am today. Ash and May were two characters that made the series so enjoyable. Besides being a child at the time of airing, I did clock on slightly to the advanced shipping moments between these two characters. Let's dive in together and explore the best moments of this ship. Episode 72. The bigger the better. This episode tends to be one of the more obvious examples of advanced shipping within the series. The episode begins with Ash and May arguing with one another, with Ash keen to get to Fort Tree City. Along the way, the pair argue with one another and they end up meeting Oscar and Andy, and this is where things start to turn interesting. The power couple are obsessed with romance and love, and this is where we see the advanced shipping link start to unfold. It's quite a comedic episode in itself, but when Oscar and Andy call Ash and May a happy couple, the responses from the pair are so sarcastic. We have Ash talking about how that's a laugh, while May says hardy ha ha. Wow, that actually kind of rhymes. From the audience's perspective, we can clearly see that there is some connection between Ash and May in this episode, as they literally bicker between them, and they also try their best to conceal their softness towards one another, but that kindness then allows both trainers to rekindle with one another after the tag battle against Team Rocket's Jesse and James. Both Ash and May apologise to one another, realising how they were both being unpleasant, and I really like this, not only for the fact that their bond began to strengthen, but the fact that the encounter with the love couple made them realise a sense of safety when it's in each other's company, even if they were going back and forth at one another. That's young love for you, I guess.
Now, this might be a big stretch, but I think that the last episode of the Meister's A was a huge episode between both Ash and May. The fact that May returned to Hoenn and met up with Serena and Licia, which totally links this video to the last. She went out of the way in the middle of a performance to look at her beloved Ash. It was so important to see her here because they couldn't meet at all throughout journeys, but it showed that May still thinks of Ash and wanted to watch the most important battle of his life. It was a very brief scene that I think had more of an impact on the shipping than most people think.
Episode 73. Grass hysteria. Now let's face it, we've seen Ash save female friends before, even holding their hands. And this is where the episode personifies brilliantly for advanced shipping. Ash goes full on hero in this episode. He risks his own life to save May from the grass Pokemon in the Forbidden Forest. Even though the duo hold hands in the episode, I think it's more about the overall interaction that both Ash and May share. Being in each other's company in a dangerous environment, working together to overcome Team Rocket, and just seeing them trust each other makes this episode even more rewarding. May even ends up catching a Bulbasaur, which then further correlates a connection to future advanced shipping. I recently watched this episode in my rewatch, and I can't get over how nice it is to see Ash and May tackle dangers together. From when Ash swung in like Tarzan to save May, to the pair embracing the world of grass-type Pokemon, this episode does a great job at watering the seeds of advanced shipping. The moment where Bulbasaur hands May the flower with her speaking to Ash about his own Bulbasaur was so sweet, and I'm sure you'll all understand why later on.
This episode showed us another similar character trait that Ash and May had in Advanced Generation early on, and that was their overconfidence. After May entered the Rubella Pokemon contest, she gets past the first round, as was the norm back then. In the locker room, May brags about how after winning your first contest ribbon, everything else comes easy. As Ash tries to talk to May and give her some advice, she snaps at him, and Ash would usually get mad back, but this time he showed some character growth and didn't. After May lost the next battle because of her nervous Bulbasaur, she goes outside and has to talk with Ash, which helps her calm down and realize that she can't take her wins for granted. I thought this episode did a really good job of showing the emotional impact Ash had on May, as well as the other way around. It also showed how AG Ash and AG May were so similar to each other at certain points.
Episode 74, Hockey Pokeballs. Right, let's get one thing straight here about this episode. It's perfect. And that's all thanks to the parallelisms between Ash and May both having their Bulbasaurs meet each other. Now I know many viewers would say, oh, but both trainers have a Bulbasaur. That's cool. But it's so much more to that. Both Bulbasaurs are said to reflect how Ash and May care for one another. And it's true. Ash asked Professor Oak to send over Bulbasaur to allow both the Kanto starters to spend time with one another. He did this so sweetly to allow both him and May alongside their Pokemon to bond. Thanks to this bonding, it helped both of them work together to overcome Team Rocket in the episode. What really sells this episode for me is how the Pokemon mirror how their trainers are. They care for each other, they like each other, and they most certainly share happiness with one another too. May's comment on how the Pokemon make a great team and being two peas in a Pokepod is so wholesome. It's pretty much how her and Ash are together anyway. When Bulbasaur pats May's Bulbasaur before leaving, it just reminded me so much of Ash and how he's always been caring for May throughout the series. When two trainers have Pokemon that meet each other, especially being the same species, it's bound to be special. This is why the fan term Vine shipping from viewers is said to be a parallel to Advanced shipping, and it also has a brilliant connection to its previous episode.
Ash's time for his 5th gym badge arises and he needs to battle May's father, Norman. What makes this battle in particular so important is that May was actually rooting more for Ash than she was her own father. If you're rooting for your friend more than you are your own father, you know you have a special place in their heart. It was such a fun experience to see May being on the sideline for one of his most important battles yet, and it being against her own father. I really felt that this episode further solidified the fact that May really thought of Ash as a really close friend and held him close to her heart. This may be a very biased choice because Ash's battle with Norman was also an amazing one as well, but hey, maybe that's just me. You can also see this battle as Ash asking permission for Norman to see if he could be with May, but that's just another way to look at it.
Episode 114, Date Expectations. Arguably one of the key episodes that displays advanced shipping, this episode really shows how much both trainers care for one another. The gang come across a group of Donphan during the mating season, and Ash ends up saving May from being run over. My man literally grabbed May into his arms and jumped, protecting her like he was a Power Ranger. Ash really goes up and beyond in this episode to look out for May. His constant reassurance for her to embark onto the next contest in Pacific Town even makes her come to some realizations. But the key part of this episode is when both trainers are separated from their friends. Ash tells May that he is willing to look after Max and find their friends just so that she can go on ahead. He truly knew how much this contest meant to her, and he was willing to take that lovely sacrifice to ensure that she could prosper. The way he comforts May by looking into her eyes, hands on the shoulder, like this boy is fully committed to make sure she is going to be okay and fulfill her dreams. The title Date Expectations really does a good job at not only showcasing how the Donphan managed to win his girl, but also the way how both protagonists showed care to one another too. Even if they went on a date, I don't know. May took the next step in sacrificing her spot to ensure Max was safe, and this was all because of Ash's reassurance. The interaction between these two in this moment is very warm, with Ash looking after May in a moment of upset, showing courage and also compassion. These two truly bounce so much energy off one another, and the heart-to-heart they both share solidifies this. Episode 76 of Diamond and Pearl, the Full Course Tag Battle. Reuniting with one another again in the Diamond and Pearl series, this episode did a great job at showing the history between Ash and May. Both trainers recall their travels with one another, and bring forth the halves of the ribbon from the Terracotta contest. This episode really hits home with Advanced shipping. It recalls the times both Ash and May spent with one another, and I love how this simple recall amalgamates everything they share along their journey into one. A really heartwarming moment is when May said that the ribbon reminds her of Ash and all of his motivation during the time she was low. She even mentioned how this ribbon has been a saving grace to her during her own travels away from him and the group. The Terracotta contest battle was amazing, and everything both trainers shared with one another led to the final moment. But what I love the most about this episode is how both trainers acknowledge what they've done for one another. It's sweet, it's kind, and it's loving. What more could you ask for? From the moment the ribbon split, it didn't only kickstart the next chapter for both trainers, but it also led to the continuation of a bond, and how a small ribbon can be so symbolic with a huge meaning of safety and reassurance.
Of course, I'd be hate commented if I didn't go with the 2-in-1 package. I'll go with the iconic Terracotta contest. A contest that technically spanned over the course of 2 episodes and was the last true moment we got between both May and Ash in the Advanced Generation and May. In this unofficial contest, both Ash and May would enter and both reach the finals. In the finals, they used their iconic starters of the Hoenn region, the newly evolved Blaziken, and the ferocious Sceptile. The friends' final battle was well done on both parts, where we got amazing plays from both Ash and May. We saw the clear influence and impact one had on another. We had May, who learned her battling skills firsthand from one of the best ever duo, Ash Ketchum, and in his time with May, Ash learned a few strategies that she came up with. It was so fun to see these two battle it out, and they battled so well that the end result was a tie. Sceptile uses his leaf blade to cut the ribbon in half, and they would keep a memento of one another for the rest of their lives. This ribbon is going to have a place in their hearts forever. Whether you love or hate advanced shipping, you can't deny the fact that it is one of the most iconic ships in all of Pokemon, next to the abandoned ship. The fact that people still talk about the ship to this day so religiously is a big telling of the power that it holds.
My bro, thank you so much for having me today. You know, it's always a blessed time when discussing things about the Pokemon anime. For those of you that have come over from my channel, be sure to subscribe to LUAPER and help him reach his next goal of 40,000 subscribers. He's one of the broskies, and also one of the coolest guys in the community. Stay tuned for another project involving us both, coming out very soon on my channel.
Again, I want to extend a big thanks to Raph for being a part of this video. It was really fun to think of advanced shipping moments with him and put this video together. Shoutouts to Legacy for making the wonderful art you saw on the thumbnail. It's truly amazing work, and they're an amazing artist that you should definitely check out if you enjoy Pokemon art. And of course, my fellow Pichu bro, Starmeister, for helping edit this video. Without any other help, this video wouldn't have been able to come out, so please check out the links in the description below and follow them all. If you made it this far into the video, I want to say that I truly appreciate you, and as always, it's been your boy LUAP, and I'm out. Peace.